in with Jichiren in that last map on Dorado when the Chengdu Hunters played. So they seem to be looking for this synergy here between their new main tank and Late Young on the Zarya.
And Jichiren a little bit low. He has to duck behind the pillar. Now they're going to start pushing forward here. FCTFCTN getting aggressive. He gets a kill onto Late Young, actually. Good start for LA as they push the Hunters off the point.
Chengdu coming in. That was just a really good Discord orb. Onto Late Young, gets caught as FCTFCTN advances, swinging around the pillar. They knew they had an advantage, having chunked out the tank line already.
Yeah.
Valiant will take the early control percentage. Also, they'll be happy to have that rally ready right away. Could also get FCTFCTN behind the barrier.
True enough.
To hit a good Earth Shatter.
Chengdu wasting no time and coming right back to the point. Jichiren getting close to the shatter, but FCTFCTN's got it first, and that's a 4-man shatter from FCTFCTN. Gets 2 with the charge right after that. I think he was tired of having that low team fight win rate percentage.
His stats are blowing up, Noah.
100% so far today.
That's a good one. And Jichiren just dropping the barrier right there on the approach makes it very easy. Gives Valiant a lot of value for the rally and the Earth Shatter. We'll have 4 other ults up in no time at all. Chengdu's going to have 6, though, so this is Chengdu's advantage.
Yeah, you got to take it now. If you don't take it now, you're in big trouble in space. Trying to put a self-destruct on the team. Luckily, the sound barrier there in time. Late Young gets a kill onto Agilities. Now the sound barrier comes in from Valiant. They're dedicating even to a 5v6. I don't know about that, but Gary goes down. So maybe with KSF's damage on the Zarya, they got a chance. And, oh boy, if you're Hunters and you blow a 6 ultimate fight, that is concerning, Monty. That's how I would describe it.
I would be very concerned about that, especially because Chengdu basically just used everybody pressed Q at exactly the same time. There was no sequencing, basically. There was no response. So even though Valiant lost a member early, they had the sound barrier to re-engage on that fight.
True enough. Let's see on the stat. Valiant looking a little bit better in the 3-3 mirror team fights in their last matchup between these two teams. 7-11, not bad. That's a strong stat. That said, 98%. Valiant nearly taking this first point here. Chengdu needs to find a way to turn it around. FCTFCTN Shatter doesn't get a whole lot that time, but the grab comes in. Couple kills for the Valiant. They lose Kariv. But aside from that, it is all LA right now. Shatter comes in there from Jichiren. Space does get demexed, but they might be able to just barely hold on. FCTFCTN doesn't connect with that fire strike, turns it around. Going to try to defend his team from the tank on the other side. 99% and counting. They are in overtime right now. Can they finish the fight, though? Chengdu not letting up just yet.
They're trying to get back on the point right now, but Kariv is going to end that one.
Yeah, Kyo's down. He got back, got the kill. Nice shatter now sets up the kill onto Late Young, and they lose Kariv again. But objective secured. LA gets the points on the board first.
Interesting. Elsa was hovering above the point right there, but they just muscled them off.
Yeah.
So Valiant on Gardens, a point that we rarely see go 100-0, goes 100-0, and Chengdu, that was not a good effort.
No, that looked pretty rough for the Hunters. That's not how you want to start things off, and it makes you wonder what we're going to see in map 2 if this continues the way it was. Let's check out that FCTFCTN Earth Shatter again.
Gets Late Young. I mean, there's no defense right there.
Yep.
Tank positioning, super questionable.
Gets the shield up in time to block the self-destruct as well. And
I mean, FCTFCTN off 1 point got 5 Earth Shatter kills off of 1 control point.
Sick.
That's a pretty sweet stat right there. FCTFCTN coming back with his revenge here after dropping their first match.
Yep. All right. Valiant looking to make it a 2-0 here on Oasis. Chengdu, we'll see if they can tie it up and send us to that 3rd point. Same compositions for both teams here as we get things started on City Center. Jichiren getting aggressive. Ooh, getting low. Down to about 50 HP there, I think, for a moment. Scariest thing there, Chengdu nearly takes the point right away, but Custa finishes off Late Young. I do not know how you get that separated as a Zarya. That is rough, man. And that's going to be the Hunters just kind of collapsing again.
What I don't understand, Noah, is Chengdu Hunters are on the point. Therefore, Valiant must engage them. But Chengdu is wandering into this choke point, off the objective.
Yeah.
And just getting spammed down because they are giving Valiant cover.
it's like they've still got that aggression that they had when Among was tanking for them on Wrecking Ball all the time, but they don't have Among kind of leading the way with these great setups to kind of pave the way for the rest of the team. It's really awkward so far for Chengdu.
It's also that you can play aggressively in the choke if you have range, like they're used to having with DPS. But when you don't have it, like you can't just walk up there on them.
Hard to make that adjustment after 2 stages of only DPS. I would say never adjust. Just keep playing DPS. But, you know, I mean, you don't want to make Jichiren swim all that way for nothing. So here you go. Oh, but he's going to get taken out right now. KSF.
Oh, the
gets
shatter.
The final blow, and that follow-up shatter. No shield means no life at all for Chengdu, and 40% now, and a nasty stagger coming in onto Elsa.
Fact Fiction at up to 8 Earth Shatter eliminations here on 1 point and 50%.
Oh, Kyo. No, you can't get picked like that.
Well, he can, and he did.
I mean, you
you should not.
Theoretically can't. Yeah. Good stats for Fact Fiction, as you can see right now. 10 stuns with those Earth Shatters so far. Good start for him, and a lot of ultimates for them to use against Chengdu's big attack coming up.
He's crushing it right now.
Yeah. Certainly is. Back to World Cup Fact Fiction. Oh, Lei Young gets his grab eaten by Space. Space is so ready for that. Now the grab comes in from the Valiant. Counter shatter for Jichiren. Doesn't really hit anybody. It's a sound barrier for Valiant. Custa trying to keep everybody up again.
Yeah, the Valiant are going to have to fall back, though.
Okay, yeah.
There's no point in investing more. Right now, what they want to do is fall back, just spam as much as they can to get their ult sunline while they wait for Fact Fiction. Fact Fiction is back now. They can re-engage.
Yep. All right, going to be the rallies now, and Lei Young ties again. They have really been good at taking him down early in a lot of these fights. Hard to say how much of that is Valiant. Oh, that's a nice charge onto Q. And how much of it is just Hunters looking a little bit scattered. I mean, there's very little in terms of any sort of sense of coordination for the Hunters right now.
No, I don't want to take anything away from the Valiant because they're playing well, but the positioning for the Hunters has been horrific.
Yeah, they're making it easy for him, that's for sure. Oh, Gary. Oh, Gary.
He couldn't make it in time. He had to go for the touch.
He had to try. Yeah, that's right. That's a 2-0 win on Oasis for the LA Valiant. 34-4 is the final kill count there. That is how you want to start it.
34 limbs over 2 points, one of which you 100-0 is disgusting for the Valiant. That is an excellent score.
Yeah. Amazing start for LA Valiant. We'll see if they can keep the momentum going when we come back.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, guys. It is a 1-0 lead right now for the LA Valiant, and they made Oasis look about as easy as I've ever seen any team make it. It was one-sided. It was a stomping.
Yeah. I just... The Chengdu Hunters with that roster really didn't seem to understand how to play Ryan 3-3 on control. There's just mistakes you can't be making. You can't, if you have control over the objective, you should not be the one pushing through choke points. You should be the one forcing them to push through to you.
Right.
And so really just a lack of coordination, seeming lack of sort of basic understanding of these concepts.
I mean, it's strange because when you're playing how the Hunters usually play, where you have all these DPS heroes, you have the Wrecking Ball, then you generally want to be pretty aggressive. But when you go back for the 3-3, then like you're saying, you need to know at what point you want to have to hang back and let them come to you, too.
Yeah, exactly. And this is to say also that Jichiren did look good, or at least passably good, on Dorado, and they did win that map versus the Guangzhou Charge when they played it. So maybe it's more of a function of control maps rather than it being a function of their 3-3 use in general.
Well, we'll find out as we are going to go to Assault next. We do have some substitutions before we get there. The Hunters going to put in Yveltal at main support.
Probably a good idea.
I think so. I think Yveltal has shown himself to be a pretty talented main support. Yang Xiaolong coming in as well, subbing in for Late Young. Again, no surprise. But now, did they make the change at tank? They did. Amon in, Chichiren out. So the Wrecking Ball is back.
And it seems like they're trying to have a couple of duos that they run, Amon with Yang Xiaolong, and then limited sample size, obviously, but Chichiren with Late Young. So whether this persists or not, we will see, but does seem that they're trying to preserve some of these synergies from map to map.
Right. And so going into Assault, it makes a lot of sense too, because Assault maps generally do lend themselves more to points that favor different DPS attacks and things. So, it could just be their plan all along. It might not necessarily reflect what happened on the last map, but we'll see.
Yeah, one thing we didn't talk about coming in, obviously we discussed fact fiction over the last 4 maps. This Valiant team only winning 31% of their team fights on that last map. But the last time they played the Chengdu Hunters, they actually won 76% of their team fights using Reinhardt 3-3. So that is a crazy high statistic to win more than 3/4 of your team fights. So it could just be a stylistic thing where the Valiant performed very well with Ryan 3-3 against Chengdu in particular as an opponent.
Interesting. The Hunters have become the hunted, because no one's ever said that before. Valiant are 0-3 on Horizon. Hunters only 1-1, but a map that LA has not yet taken a win on. So something to keep in mind. Valiant will be attacking first here. Hunters on the defense. And I wouldn't be surprised if they ran this Torbjorn hardpoint thing. Elsa has played the Torb in the past.
He's done it a bunch.
Yep. I'm sure this is what they're sticking with.
So it will be 3 DPS.
Yeah.
Jinmu on his trademark Pharah, of course. And Amon not going to be playing the ball. Will be up on that Orisa.
Wow, when you're running this comp, you need to provide a little bit of protection for the Torb.
I would be concerned if they were running Wrecking Ball with the rest of this composition.
Yeah, me too, especially on defense. Valiant, though, running the Wrecking Ball on offense just long enough to take a glimpse at what the enemy has planned, and they will do some swaps. Kareev over on the Roadhog for a moment. Is he going to stick on it? Oh, yeah, they're going to try to pull people off the hard point, it looks like.
Yeah, snipe the turret. They will have more barrier pressure with their Orisa, so they can sort of plunk it down, and the Roadhog and the Storm arrows will be able to bust the other Orisa barrier a little bit faster.
Yeah, KSF's going to be taking that Widow dual tool, and it does displace the hard point right away. Right, you do having to fall back.
You just have more forward pressure, so it forces them to move because you kill the Orisa barrier, then you can move in slowly. So already well executed by the Valiant.
Yep. Turret out of the way for the moment. Agilities on the Hanzo, taking that one out. And Yang Xiaolong getting taken out by Agilities as well. But better than just killing that turret. Jinmu does get KSF, but he gets grabbed. What a grab by Kareev. Not bad at all, and now aiming in a lot of trouble. You do not want that Roadhog firing point blank into an Orisa. Yveltal hooked again, nearly done space there to finish him off. This is going to be a fast point A.
I love that swap by the Valiant.
Yeah,
really fun to see. That's one of the things that Kareev brings back to this lineup by being in the flexiboard position. Because he has bounced back and forth between DPS and between flexiboard over his career, you do get more flexibility of him playing Widowmaker, of him playing Roadhog.
Right.
These are heroes that he's great on.
And I mean, the nice thing with Horizon, too, is you are right there at the spawn doors after you take A to do a quick swap, and that's what they do. Into the Reinhardt 3-3. Much better comp for point B.
Kyo's going to have that trance, though, as Chengdu are going to make the same swaps over.
Yeah, so no big ult advantage for Chengdu either, as they had to make those same swaps, more or less.
And the thing is, his space is just trying to get the rest of that self-destruct. He can use it right away. There it goes.
All right, yeah, they're going to engage with it. Going to give it a shot. No kills out of that one, but they do separate Amon a little bit. Going to force the Transcendence out of Kyo just to keep his main tank up. That is, I think you're happy with that as Valiant.
100%. That's a great trade if you're Valiant, because now they're not going to have transfer your grab.
Yep, that's the plan anyway. And KSF, only an 80%, but he should get it pretty quickly. They've got the rally to keep poking. Kareem with a nice finishing blow onto Amon to keep this fight going here. Jinmu walking in, rally down. There goes Young Xiaolong as well. Grab going to work, and Valiant crushing this one as well. The sound barrier comes in, but it's only a delaying tactic to try to give the respawns a chance to come back for the Hunters, and it may not be in time.
We'll see.
One tick already.
They've got 5 players out right now. They only need 1 more for Chengdu.
Yep, that's right. But Factor Fiction, all he needs is a good shatter. Doesn't find it there. The shield's in place. Kareev does the Transcendence. Agilities kept alive by the bubble and the healing there. And now the grab comes in. They've got the sound barrier, though. Space. Nobody. Oh, Elsa got cussed with the self-destructed. Yeah. It is going to be a hold for the Hunters for the moment here. 84% though. Not a bad start for Valiant on B.
No, not a bad start. And they're coming back with a Graviton Surge that can be used to pull people off, or because Chengdu had to use both of their support ults in that last engagement just to save the point, you'll get them back again.
Yeah.
So
it's like checking that computer. He's like, oh, it needs some maintenance.
He was the cause of that maintenance, though, most likely.
Yeah, that's right. Well, no, the opposite of maintenance. Wrecking it. Couldn't even put the panda face on it. Here we go. Valiant coming in again. They're going to use the grab right away along with the rally. Damage onto Jinmu. Everybody falling for Hunters. That was crazy. It's almost like they weren't ready for the grab. Elsa with the quick swap over to Sombra, but I don't know what that's going to get you, man. They're going to just take it. Wow. And the Valiant totally rocking their attack here on Horizon Lunar Colony.
I mean, they saw that the Sombra swap had occurred, so they knew they had grab. They knew they had no support ults. It's super easy decision just to chuck your Graviton Surge into there. No defensive matrix to eat it up, and that means quick win for the Valiant.
I suppose. Hunters on the attack when we come back.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Огонь по готовности.
Welcome back to Horizon Lunar Colony. LA Valiant looking really good on their attack. 2 points and 4:05 in the time bank. A lot of that off of Kareev's great hooks on point A. He was definitely on target with that. Hook to Pharah, hook to Mercy. Those are 2 of the toughest targets to grab with Roadhog, aside from like a Tracer or Genji or something like that. He played well, that's what I'm trying to say. Watch out for the potatoes, please. Don't step on the potatoes.
Yeah, what are they going to eat up there on Horizon if you destroy their hydroponic garden?
Yeah.
It's really
Save
irresponsible.
Save them for later when you can boil them, mash them, or stick them in a stew.
Well, they are mashing the potatoes already.
That's it. They are mashing them, but not now. You gotta boil them first, or bake them, or something. Yeah, obviously. Do you think they just all the like hyper intelligent gorillas are just eating a bunch of potatoes up there on the moon?
That's what I like to think they're doing.
That sounds like kind of a sad life. Enough about that. Chengdu Hunters on the attack. Let's see if they can turn around the sad life that they've had so far in this series. Amon on the wrecking ball, to the surprise of no one. They're going with Yang Xiaolong on the Sombra as well. Looking for that early EMP.
Creep it on. Just got to put some pressure onto the point.
Yeah.
Typical composition that we see if you're running a flanker like Sombra.
Yep.
He's going to try and isolate Kareem. Oh, goodbye.
Oh, it was a nice try. It was a nice try, but you make a lot of noise when you're rolling around there. They knew you were going. Jinmu pouring in the damage here about halfway to a barrage. So far, Valiant unfazed by the shenanigans coming in from Hunters.
I do love the wrecking ball rolling sound. It has such a great bass to it. Like, it really gets the subwoofer going.
I agree. I know how much you love the subwoofer, Monty. A nice sleep dart onto Elsa, actually. As Valiant moves in. Kareev, though, taking a lot of damage here. One rocket away from death before he grenaded himself. But never mind. One rocket is all it takes. Jinmu finishing him right there. KSF does get the kill onto Amon. And space. Why not? Yeah, Bunny Blaster does it sometimes, you know?
Just pull up the Bunny Blaster, and yes, this is the time for retreat here for the Chengdu Hunters. You have the EMP, you have the respawn advantage, no need to press your luck further. EMP into barrage, anybody?
This is the moment. This is where the Hunters' attack is meant to come together. Let's see if he can maybe run right up there. Valiant's staying pretty well spread out, though.
Yeah, doing a good job so far.
All right, there's the EMP.
Barrage.
Gets 4 of them. Barrage comes in. KSF taken out by the grenade from Keo. Jinmu gets agilities with that barrage. It's a 6v4. Hunters, this is what they wanted. They didn't get a ton of kills out of it, but they got enough that they should be able to transition into a point A take. Back Fiction down. Tried to get the charge kill onto Amon, but wasn't quite able to do it. And Hunters looking pretty good.
It was a valiant attempt by Space. He did not get EMP'd, so he tried to Matrix. He actually Matrixed most of that barrage.
Yeah.
They knew the combo that was coming in. But now Chengdu Hunters, they're going to be pressing this assault. And if you look at it, they're probably going to nano boost Jinmu. Yang Xiaolong going to be there with another EMP pretty soon. And that minefield is very powerful on this point.
Yep. Going up to the high ground there. Wow.
Amon's so good at ball.
Skills on wrecking ball. It really is impressive. Nice minefield. Shield, though, onto Fact Fiction to keep him safe. Amon just going to displace him for the moment. Yveltal down, though. Kareev finding a big pick there on the Ana, and that's going to make it very difficult for Chengdu to keep pushing without that mercy.
Yeah, the push is basically over right now. If you don't have your primary source of healing, they're just going to find a way to get out as they can.
Amon isn't very good at disengaging, but once in a while you see him do it. That said, you got to make sure you don't lose anybody on the way out. Oh, Jinmu! Solo, but Yang Xiaolong coming up with the kill to Kareev, actually. And now the EMP.
He over pursued Noah.
That's right. They went a bit too aggressive. Space barely gets back into his mech in time. But the Hunters, they lose Jinmu. But I would have said they had an opportunity here. Maybe they still do, although now with Elsa out of the mech, I think that's going to be about it. Dangerous moment for the Valiant. That's the kind of thing that you really have to watch out for, because that's the thing where a better team is going to capitalize on that 100% of the time.
They were so focused on Jinmu that they forgot that they sort of just left Kareev out to dry right there, and Yang Xiaolong was in the back line. He just one-clipped him, looked like.
I mean, that's the thing. You can't over-pursue the move, as they say. Kareev's got the nano boost ready to go. I'll put that on Fact Fiction in a moment here, probably. They're going in. They're getting aggressive. Seems like the time. Amon gets the nano boost as well. Ooh, Sleep Dart misses for Kareev, but he gets a nice bio grenade onto Amon and Jinmu. That's a good start. Fact Fiction just holding the corner. Yang Xiaolong down, though. So a chance for the Valiant to keep this defense going here. Fact Fiction and Amon collide. And now Fact Fiction in the corner. Yeah, he has to get back to his team. Going over onto Jinmu as well, doing the damage that he can, and KSF very close to a grab, which is pretty much all the Valiant should need to keep holding this.
Yeah, remember, Chengdu is not running a Zenyatta right now. They've kept Kyo on the Ana.
Right.
So there's not a good answer to the Graviton.
Ooh, the grab used. Yang Xiaolong, though, fighting it out. He gets a kill into Kareev again, and now the EMP onto the remaining members of the Valiant. And Valiant, again, I don't know, maybe taking a fight I think they maybe didn't need to take there.
I would love to know how that worked, because without a Diva and without a Zen, that grab should be just incredibly destructive to the side of Chengdu.
I think so. Jinmu taking a nap. Oh, and Fact Fiction comes in with the charge. Jinmu not able to get up after that sleep dart. Elsa throws in his own grab now. We'll see if Valiant can weather the storm. I'm amazed that the Hunters haven't taken more. They get hit with a big bio grenade now. Yveltal taken out by Kareev. Kareev has been bailing out the Valiant so hard.
Not only that, Tilla, he slept Among during the Reinhardt charge into the grab. If that hadn't happened, Chengdu might have been able to bounce back and take that last pick, because he would have gotten an elimination onto one of the Valiant players.
Yeah, Kareev coming up big for his team right now. Fact Fiction waiting for a good chance to win the Ryan mind games with his own Earthshatter here.
Valiant's great though. Like, they run the Ana because there's no Diva as well. This is awesome for them.
And no one's going to block those bio grenades. Fact Fiction getting aggressive. KSF with the kill on the Amon already. And the sound barrier comes out for Chengdu, but it's a little bit too late as they've lost too many people. There goes Jinmu, and now we're down to 2 minutes remaining for Chengdu. They took point A pretty quick. They nearly took B, but Valiant has had a pretty solid hold since then.
I think if you're a Valiant fan, you're very impressed with their adaptations right now. The fact that we saw them play the Roadhog double sniper Orisa comp on attack, they read Chengdu very well. You look at them playing right now, switching over to that Ana, taking advantage of the lack of Diva. These are all really good signs.
Oh, EMP though comes in, a few members, and then the Earthshatter as well. And that's going to lead to the kills on the people that were dropped down. Nice sleep dart. Ooh, that pin actually feels like it swapped people there. Oh no! The Earthshatter for Fact Fiction tried to make something happen, but he got stunned out of it, killed out of it, and that's going to be round 2 done now. The Hunters able to get those 2 points.
They had to fight very hard for that last tick, though.
Yeah, they did indeed.
It took a long, long time. Chengdu going to be entering with a significantly smaller time bank.
About 2.5 minutes more in the time bank for the Valiant. We'll see what they can do with it when we come back after this. It's time for Time Bank. That's right, 4 minutes and 5 seconds available for the LA Valiant. Chengdu Hunters with a measly 1 minute and 26 seconds to try to win this map. Valiant in a pretty good position to go up 2-0 in this series. It's such a relief that the other players got smart enough for them to put Custa back in, isn't it?
That's
so
true.
nice.
It's actually the other way around. Custa had to use a few brain cells
You think
to get
that's
back
what it was?
into the lineup.
Oh, see, I went with the positive outcome. You went with the negative one. I see.
It's so typical of us, isn't it?
Yeah. The players didn't get smarter. Custa got dumber. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think they're all playing very smart right now.
Jokes aside, I think this has been a really good performance for the Valiant.
Yeah, I agree. They're looking good today. Space gets hacked here as Chengdu tries to go on the attack. Going for that DPS look again. Just putting pressure on that point, like we've seen before. All right. Going inside, Agilities, taking some damage. Has to take a breather. A nice hook onto Amon. They finish him off with KSF. That works. Good setup there by the Valiant. And, talk about adaptation. And again, they're going quad tank this time around. They put Agilities on the Roadhog. This is something we haven't seen in a while.
They brought back your slam.
Oh, no!
Noah.
That's right, the Slambulance coming back, but it's a defensive Slambulance now. They lose Agilities, but they get enough kills that maybe they've got time. I think Agilities might have to swap to get back to the point a bit quicker. Kyo gets rezzed. Agility's going to stick with it. He's close to the whole hog, so I suppose you hang on to this.
Spaceman hacked.
Yeah.
Have to give up maybe a tick right here before they come back.
Seems reasonable.
Almost have Agilities back right now.
I mean, Amon, Agilities is coming up right behind you, dude. You got to worry about getting hacked. That's right, he's going to vacate real quick here. Now back on the point, KSF really low. He's got the Zarya shield, and luckily the Coalescence from Kareev keeps him alive here. The slam comes in from Amon. Maybe Jinmu's barrage can make the difference here. They've got one tick already. He's going in. He's trying for it. He gets back Fiction and KSF. Jinmu delivering his team this point against the quad tank of the Valiant.
If there's one thing that Chengdu Hunters are great at, Doa, it is EMP Barrage combo, setting him up for 2 teamfight wins on point A on Horizon. And Valiant losing agilities early hurt them quite a bit. And also, I don't know what happened to KSF's Graviton Surge. It didn't catch anybody. I don't know where he fired it, though.
Didn't seem like it, yeah. Did not get eaten. Jinmu, 33 rocket direct hits. This guy is like one of the best, if not the best, far in the league right now. Self-destruct from space. Oh, Jinmu just far enough away to weather that one. And agilities with the whole hog. That's actually going to be pretty crucial, I think, if he can keep everybody off the point with that. Kareev gets a kill. Neveltal with the coalescence. Good start there.
Oh, no.
Self-destruct coming. Agilities! Oh, the whole hog. He couldn't use the breather for the damage reduction. It hurts so bad. And now the EMP from Yangzhou Long comes out over the top of everything. The Hunters actually have a pretty solid chance here to get some progress. Nearly 1 tick so far. They've got the first one.
There's only 3 of them on the point, though, Doa.
I know.
The
How
respawns
far?
are coming through for Valiant.
How far
we
can
got
they take
Kyo.
it?
That's huge.
Yeah, that's right. Agility's down, though. They've got those respawns. Kyo gets rezzed right away by Yveltal. And now, the sun comes in right as Jinmu was about to connect with the rocket punch. Back Fiction, earth-shattering just in time. But Amon still zoning so many people off there, and they kill Custa again. So Valiant clinging to life here on point B. Hunters on the verge of taking 4. Jinmu the kill into Back Fiction. Another self-destruct comes in, and that might be about it. Yangzhou Long with just maybe another kill.
Nano boosted to another EMP, Doa.
Yep, that's right. Helps out. He's going to use it right away. Custa down. There goes Kareev as well. Trying to live as long as he can, and long enough for Back Fiction to come back. Valiant, they're making, dare I say, a valiant effort, but it's not enough. Chengdu Hunters take a little and get a lot.
Valiant there. They tried that Slambulance, the quad tank with the Moira to really just try and weather the storm of the multi-DPS, but Chengdu got the early pickoff, and it snowballed out of control from that point.
Yeah. I felt like it wasn't a bad plan from Valiant.
No.
Chengdu is just very, very good, as we saw, of setting up that man right there, Jinmu, for some pretty great barrages.
Yeah, Jinmu, he's a force in his own right. And coming into this, Chengdu wins between 55 and 62% of their team fights, depending on the Pharah comp they're using. So it's statistically running Pharah is their best chance of winning. I think that was a great demonstration of why.
That is just a beautiful image of our planet. Our planet's looking pretty good, actually. Yeah. Looks like the ozone layer's back and all that. That's good news.
If the Omnics had won, they wouldn't have needed an ozone layer, so.
That's true. But you're saying they would have gotten rid of it just because they didn't need it?
I mean, all I know is that when they woke Bastion up, he seemed to really hate nature.
I don't know. I would disagree. I think he secretly loved nature because his homicidal ways were changed by a mere bird.
Yeah, after destroyed like a whole forest, but whatever.
Well, I mean, trees can't scream. It's okay. It's going to be some swaps from the Valiant.
He was just thinking, hey, these trees, they're lessening carbon emissions right now, so got to take those out right away.
It's all about the pollution, right? Thanks, Bastion. Maybe he just wanted to build himself a log cabin. I don't know. Just had an urge to build, Valiant on the attack, if you haven't noticed already. They're running Kareev on the Moira right now. Going with that triple tank. Just that little adaptation. Ooh, nice headshot on KSF. That was a close call. Yangzhou Long really hitting the shot so far. They're coming back through the door again. That's a dangerous thing to do with a Widowmaker over there.
Well, they had to get their last teammate through the door. And now it's the great runaround.
Changing our minds.
Well, they're trying to get them to reposition so they don't have the long sight lines. It's actually worked very well.
They're going to get a nice fire strike through the middle of this unless it's defense matrixed. Or it's not used. Back Fiction just walks forward. There we go. Gets a good amount of damage in there. Fast coalescence from Kareev. That's another part of this, is you have everyone grouped up and you just hit him with the coalescence while your team runs in. Lots of healing, lots of damage. Elsa demeched already. Valiant looking like they've got a pretty good firm hold over A, unless this tire makes a big difference. Jinmu sending in the tire, going after Custa. He gets him. don't know if the Lucio kill was really worth it. Might have been looking for a bit more as Valiant so close to finishing off A right now. Veltal, you can't do it on your own, buddy.
He died as soon as he popped Valkyrie, and they used the Junkrat tire to kill a Lucio, the lowest priority target, once they've already speed boosted onto the point.
I mean, that's disastrous too, because they're not even going to get to fight a 6v6 at the beginning of point B now.
Oh no.
Yeah, rally from Agilities right away. Extra armor for the Valiant KSF, 100% charge. He's doing tons of damage. Among runs for his life before they send Elsa back in to just delay. One tick taken already. KSF holding onto that grab as long as he possibly can. Amon down, and they're going to pop Elsa out of the mech right away. This tank line collapsing, and man, Valiant, this is how you snowball. You get those exit kills, and I think Hunters did not get out while the getting was good on point A, and they paid for it. Blazingly fast attack by the Valiant.
And crucially, the Valiant are going to end with over a minute remaining, which means that the 0 minutes on the other side, they will have a chance to attack. Worst Valiant can do is going to be a draw here.
Yep, that's right. And they can win just by taking the first tick. Pretty solid stuff. We'll see if they can do it when we come back. All right, welcome to Time Bank round number 2, Horizon Boogaloo. That's what they call it. 2:13 on the clock, and that's all Valiant needs, really, to take the first tick on point A. They hope to give themselves a 2-0 lead in this series. Chengdu on the defense as they have 0 time remaining.
Yeah, Chengdu mixing it up too. It's going to be Sombra Goats for them.
All right, yeah.
Elsa on the Sombra, and Valiant, they will take a peek at this before they commit to an attack.
Makes sense.
Fact Fiction rolling out on the ball.
I like Kariv back on the Moira again. One thing that people used Moira a lot for early on when she came out was to build those really fast coalescences and then move in on this death ball that's doing all this healing, all this damage. Forget Moira. It's going to be Zenyatta instead.
The reason why it was a swap is they didn't see the spam comp, but it was a smart move last time because they built coalescence before they approach and then use that coalescence to overcome the Junkrat spam. Smart play.
Right. So here we go. Just a standard 3-3 with the Reinhardt from Valiant as they walk up the stairs. They're going to go right into Amon. Amon not prepared. They were not ready for the aggression. And you know what? That'd be about the time I'd be typing GG if I was on the Chengdu Hunters.
You can't hold that position when you don't have a diva because they'll matrix up the stairs and just body you.
Yep, that's right. I mean, they popped space out of the mech, but that's going to be basically it. Yep, there's Yveltal down. That's a 2-0 lead for the LA Valiant in this match.
If you have the Sombra, you have to play the flank and harass. You can't let them get on that staircase. You can't defend there because you don't have Matrix.
Yep. There you go. Wow. Quicker than you can blink almost. Valiant take it. 2-0 lead for them. We'll see what the analysts have to say at halftime in just a few.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
The Valiant and the Hunters are both trying to stave off going 0-2 to start the stage. And so far, it looks like the Valiant are going to do so, up 2-0 at the half. What's up, everybody? Malik here. We got Brent, we got Sideshow at halftime. The LA Valiant looking like a whole fresh new team. Super dominant so far. What do you guys think of what you saw in that first half from them?
Yeah, pretty dominant. I gotta say, disappointed in Chengdu, honestly. You know, what happened to the old Chengdu is what we were saying when we were walking out
Missed
here.
the old
you know?
Chengdu. They don't play Gulch Chengdu.
Exactly. G-Chirin coming in, swimming his way over the Pacific Ocean. And
I don't know why you keep saying that as if it really happened. It certainly didn't happen.
What?
We live in the age
Maybe
of modern
true.
transportation.
Yeah, maybe.
What is the story?
I don't know. Honestly, I can't tell you.
All right, well, I want to hear more about what's going on with G-Chirin, and we actually have Emily standing by right now to give us a little more insight on that. Emily?
Thanks, Malik. I spoke with the general managers for the Chengdu Hunters, and he told me that G-Chirin was always meant to be their main tank. But because he wasn't able to enter the country earlier due to visa issues, Amon was given the chance to shine. And shine he did. Still, the team was stoked for the addition of G-Chirin, especially Amon. And the GM told me that Amon actually really looked forward to G-Chirin's arrival to help him relieve some stress. And overall, as you guys can see, G-Chirin has been getting along swimmingly with the team. As you guys saw from the life jacket walkout, he's super easygoing. So we're looking forward to seeing more of G-Chirin and what he can bring to the Hunters. But back for now, back to you, Malik.
Thank you very much, Emily. Very interesting. So, Amon was not necessarily supposed to be the star. He's kind of like Tom Brady. He kind of just was there at the right time, coming off the bench and kind of stole the show.
Yeah, Amon has actually never played Winston in his professional career for even one map.
Played Diva for a bit.
Yeah, he played Diva for a bit in the past, and then Wrecking Ball and Orisa, and now he's had to play a bit more Ryan as well. So that kind of makes sense, but the fact that they built their whole team style around Amon at the moment means that this first map looked really weird with G-Chirin.
Oh, super weird.
Yeah, it was like Chengdu's coordination went totally out the window.
I mean, as we roll the clips, you can see as well, and you'll see what we're talking about in particular. But it's strange because Chengdu, as a team, they have a good coordination. They work well together. They've got great teamwork. You'd think that would translate well, even if you swapped out the main tank. But stylistically, it's such a change of pace for them. Something's going wrong because it is not the same Chengdu that we're used to. And their triple tank, triple support, it was never the greatest. But Valiant just utterly dominated them in this first map.
And Fact Fiction absolutely outplayed him on the main tank as well. Huge amount of Earth Shatters being hit there, and just overall a much more coordinated play. Monty was calling it in the cast the whole time. The weird way in which Chengdu were just pushing forwards and putting themselves in the worst positions possible.
Yeah.
Very odd. A sign of a team that hasn't really thought through how they want to play this style.
All right, let's move on to Horizon Lunar Colony. And it was a lot more of the same. Kind of piggybacking off of what you just said, Sideshow, Fact Fiction, he looks a lot more decisive, from my opinion. Do you think that's a communication thing, that the Valiant just look more decisive in what they're doing?
I don't know. You would expect, actually, the communication to be a little worse on the Valiant because they've had to make such changes. And this roster that the Chengdu Hunters fielded for the Horizon Lunar Colony, they've played with many times before. I mean, Amon comes back in the lineup, but then they play some Sombra Goats, they play a bunch of other stuff, which they have played before in the past, but Valiant just knew how to deal with it. And a reminder that Valiant did actually beat Chengdu Hunters 3-2 the last two times these teams have faced off.
Yep.
So they have a bit of a read on the style.
Well, it's interesting as well. I mean, we always go on about how unpredictable Chengdu are, but at this point, they are getting more and more predictable. This is a point that we're making, is that their style is being figured out.
Predictably unpredictable.
Yeah, in a weird way. You know that they're going to be chucking something odd when Amon is in this lineup. When they were subbing him in, when he was walking out with all of his gear, you know that they're going to be running Jinmu playing the Farah. Amon's going to be running a Wrecking Ball at some point. So you got a sort of inkling of what they're
There's a sneak peek at the lineups for the next map.
Guys, Chengdu, download complete. You guys got to figure something else out. So, speaking of which, what do the Hunters need to do now to switch things up? Is it a little more what you just said?
Well, the map-wise, we're going to Numbani and we're going to be going to Havana. So Havana is an interesting one because you can run a lot of Orisa comps, a lot of the bunker. I imagine that is going to be suited them pretty nicely. It's all going to be on Numbani, obviously. They need to tie this series up some way, and it's going to be that's their first step. So
I think the key is running more DPS compositions and running more with Amon rather than focusing on triple tank, triple support. And I want to see them play aggressively with it. I want to see them put pressure on the LA Valiant, particularly the support line. Keep an eye out for where Custer is. Try and put pressure on him because at the moment he's just got free reign around the map.
All right. Well, the Hunters, they have a whole half to get back into this game, but right now the Valiant are up 2-0 and need one more map to close this one out. Will they be able to do it? We're going to find out in just a bit.
So one of the biggest challenges at the beginning was like to understand each other in game.
That was like really tough for me at the beginning because my English was like really poor.
Talking about strategy was kind of tough. Most of the callouts in game were fine.
That everybody knows, even though you are not really comfortable in English, like left, right.
Forward, back, behind. That's easy. But when you got really get going deep in strategy, it's kind of tough.
And we're back. That's right. Halftime is over, and it's time to get on with the match. Looking ahead to game number 3. Right now, the Valiant with a 2-0 lead. The Hunter's looking, honestly, like totally lost. Which, if you're a hunter, you shouldn't really be lost because you're like going out in the wilderness to hunt things. So that's double embarrassing.
Yeah, it was a bit rough. I mean, they did have a better, like they did get through Horizon twice, so you can't really say that they were super bad, but they definitely had a lot less time bank by the end. The advantages were just accruing over time for the Los Angeles Valiant.
I think in terms of badness, super bad is kind of low on the bad totem pole, because when you look ahead to like ultra bad and mega bad, I would say super bad is not quite as bad.
Also, Superbad was an entertaining movie, so
that's true. So it's actually not that bad to be super bad.
Also, we called Superbad in stage 1.
Right.
He was good. So is Superbad in fact good? I think the answer is yes.
That's right. So, you know, at the end of the day, Chengdu Hunters not maybe doing as poorly as we thought.
But my statement still holds up, where they weren't super bad, which means they weren't good.
It might be ultra bad then.
There you go.
That's true. Wow. Well, we'll see what level they have for us here on Nimbani on our hybrid map. Move over who's on first.
Exactly. We got there eventually.
That's right.
When super bad means good.
Came full circle with that one. Chengdu Hunters on the attack here. Valiant naturally on the defense. I may relax and unwind with some legendary organic oil.
If the robots drink the oil, then why does that robot make the rum in Mana?
Well, because people drink rum. He can sell to people.
He's just exploiting people's vices. That's a cynical robot.
What if the oil company is making oil for robots is run by humans?
Interesting.
I don't know. I think business is business. Chengdu Hunters with their regular comp here. Amon on the wrecking ball here. We'll see if they can set up Jinmu again. It's a classic EMP into barrage thing that we've seen so well. Oh, KSF, what are you doing there? Oh, nice hook from Agilities. KSF goes down anyway, but maybe the Roadhog can bail them out. We will see. He's been so accurate with the hooks and the right clicks.
It's been cool to see the Valiant. You cursed him. It's been cool to see Valiant running so much Roadhog today, which obviously has great advantages against multi-DPS compositions.
Right.
Able to self-heal, able to get a lot of picks himself onto low HP targets.
I mean, Roadhog is usually pretty good against DPS unless you get the Tracer in there, and then he just becomes a Pulse Bomb battery. But here comes a barrage from Chengdu, but Agilities finishes him off, and the Valiant will continue to hold.
I like how they've been mixing it up, too. You know, you have Kareev on the Roadhog, sometimes Agilities on the Roadhog. Both players that have been known for their Roadhog play in the past. And it's proving pretty darn successful here.
Yeah.
It's already shaved about 1 minute and 20 off the clock.
Oh, Amon got hacked and immediately eliminated. KSF with Headshot City, I'm guessing there. His life dropped fast. So that's Chengdu having to back off and wait again.
I don't think I'd like to take a vacation to Headshot City. That's not,
I don't think so.
This will be my last trip.
That's a good point.
Headshot City doesn't actually have any people alive in it.
I mean, maybe it's just
the ghost
robots.
town. It's a ghost town.
Just robots. That's where they make the oil.
I mean,
go on the oil distillery tour in Headshot City. Custa down though, so Chengdu has a 6v5 advantage here. Agilities. EMP, all right. On top of the minefield too, so Chengdu throwing a lot of what they've got into this fight here. Valiant just backing away. They're biding their time, and they're going to go back in with the Coalescence here. They've got the sound barrier as well. Oh, they catch Youngsha along with the self-destruct. Space with a pretty good one there. Reds comes through. Sombra brought back again.
EMP coming through
Agilities.
for KSF. Potentially,
no! He couldn't. He had the animation going, but he couldn't really get it into his mouth or into his mask, I guess, to get the damage reduction.
Tragic.
That is, but Chengdu Hunter's not so tragic for them. They are going to take point A.
This time, Chengdu, one of the big parts of that was Kyo dropping the biotic grenade, preventing any healing. Valiant, wasn't able to go ahead and eat that up with Space's defense matrix. KSF, though, he's going to have a strong start to this push. Yeah, defending with that EMP.
Right. You can do fun things like an EMP and a whole hog that nobody can defend against, and if you get everyone in a corner, that's a lot of kills, but we'll see. There's the EMP. What is going to be the follow-up? The follow-up is going to be Custa knocking Among off the map. That's a good start.
Yeah, this gives you an opportunity to shove them back into spawn as well, really try and take over that part of the map. Now, problem with Valiant's composition is they don't have a great tool to deal with Pharah. Pharah can't come close because of Agility's hook.
True enough. All right, Amon going down with the minefield. Agility's in a little bit of trouble here. Custa the one who dies to the mines, though. I think a lot of Lucio's getting caught bad. Jinmu, ooh, they kept him alive for a lot longer than I thought they were going to. Kareev had the Coalescence on him, and that finished him off in the end. But there's a big stun coming in from Fact Fiction and his Earth Shatter, but there's not enough of the team left to capitalize, and Amon grabs a couple before they get the payload going again.
Kyo, been on point with these biotic grenades. He's hitting Agilities with them over and over and over again. That means they can't stick on the point.
Yeah, and they can't take a breather either.
Yeah, they can't do much at all, right? The Roadhog needs to be able to provide the HP to stop the payload, to stop objective progress in this composition.
Yep. And the Hunters just look so much more comfortable on this composition. Amon goes in, adaptive shields, giving him a bit more to work with defensively. Ooh, gets hacked though. Dangerous one for him. And they're going to dive on that. Agilities gets zoned out a little bit by the Diva though. Now Amon trying to knock people into the self-destruct. Not successful. Hacked again, losing a lot of health. The healing barely keeping him alive though, but the EMP comes in now into the rest of the Hunters. Valiant striking back on the defense here. Agilities survives through the whole hog. Gets back to his team.
It's a lot of ults, though, used for the Valiant.
It is.
And Chengdu's going to be re-engaging at the minefield and an EMP.
Yeah, that's right. Now, do you use the sound barrier? I don't think so now. EMP used as well. Agility's already down. They are going to sound barrier anyway. They're just trying to delay as long as possible. But I think eventually they're going to need to give up point B.
Jinmu staying alive for yet another rocket barrage. Valiant, they did their darndest to get Custa into position. He didn't get hacked beforehand, so he got the sound barrier off, even though the EMP came down. But Valiant was so depleted when it came to ultimates by that point in time, and they're going to have to switch off. KSF, are they going to go for the Zarya, or are they going to go for one last EMP?
I think maybe you try to win an EMP fight, and then you switch, because there's only 2:30 on the clock for Hunters. This last corner can be a bit tricky to get around.
I don't know. Hunters only have the Nano and the Self-Destruct, so it seems like you do have a window to swap over to the Zarya right now.
Well, I mean, he's got that EMP basically, so probably not. There's an Anubis landing. Amon walks in with 2 kills, and Elsa managed to find Karib with the self-destruct as well.
The issue is you don't have bubbles for that. That's the problem. And you didn't quite have the EMP yet, so now you're in desperation territory. KSF making the long flank around the side. Here he is. You can see on the left side.
Everybody jumps onto the point right now, but the Shatter, the huge Shatter, Fact Fiction did not have his shield up in time. Oh my. Chengdu Hunters cruising into a pretty decent time bank here on Nimbani. I think they had 146 at the end of all that. Some crucial mistakes at the end by the Valiant.
KSF, he didn't even know he's going to get hit by that. Like, they didn't even know that Shatter was going to hit the Sombra. He was standing on top of that cart invisible.
I don't know, man. If you've ever stood on top of a cart when Orion shatters, you should know you're going to get hit by that.
He should not have been hit by that, obviously. Like, he needed to get a longer flank in.
Yeah.
That's rough.
3 points for the Chengdu Hunters. We'll see if the Valiant can equalize in just a moment.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Switch sides here on Nimbani with Valiant on the attack. Before we do that, let's take a look at that last play that gave Chengdu the point take at the end.
I mean, this is just random, right? Because KSF Walker's invisible, and he gets... You can see Fact Fiction in the back right there. So really what Among's looking at is a chance to stun space. And he just happens to get the Sombra as well, mid-animation.
Unlucky.
Well, I would argue that he had plenty of time to move around the side and should not have ever been on that payload, but...
True enough. Our match of the week, New York versus London, coming up on Sunday, 12 p.m. Pacific, Twitch, ESPN app, and Disney XD. That's going to be a lot of fun. Should be pretty sick. Now, back with the Valiant on the attack here now. They're going to do some swapping as they see the comp that the Hunters have in store.
Hunters, they just want to play as conservatively as possible. They want to play the Rhine 3-3. They know they've completed the map with plenty of time. So just drag it out as long as they can with this style of composition. Valiant will meet them head on in the mirror.
Yep, I'd say so. Yveltal looking to displace some people on the high ground. Only hits the D.Va, who's got that charge. So it's not the biggest deal here. Has to back away now. Hunters force off of the high ground. That's step 1 for the Valiant complete anyway. Amon very close to a shatter already, though.
Yeah, the problem you run into is if you're playing the Rhine mirror and you approach through that choke, the other team's going to get way more ult charge as you try and just squeeze through there. The Reinhardt especially gets a bazillion hammer swings in.
Yeah, if that fire strike isn't absorbed by the defense matrix, it does a lot. Amon nearly has that shatter now. KSF getting a bit low. Kareem kills Amon at 93%. Yang Xiaolong's got the grab, though, but I don't know if you use it here. You've lost so many people already. Yveltal down as well. They're going for it, though. All right, going to be the grab from KSF and the ult from Kariv as well. Teams just trying to find the win, and meanwhile, nobody from Valiant was on the point, so that did give Ryan time to come back.
And that's disastrous because the spawn is so close for the defenders on this map that they're going to be 6 strong again.
Yep, that's right. Engaging with the shadow. Oh no, Kariv caught the sound barrier, was not enough at that range to save him from the self-destruct. And now the sound barrier from the Hunters, they might actually be able to defend here. I think they will. Valiant, they didn't have anyone on the point after they won that fight.
You have to remember on Numbania, this is the one hybrid map in Overwatch where the defenders have a spawn advantage coming in right here. So coming in, this is really difficult. You can't over-pursue like that towards the spawn because you just want to take the objective, play the objective.
Or at least if you are pursuing, leave somebody on the point.
Yeah, that's using those ultimates.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, that's right. Self-destruct comes in. They catch Among with it. Whoa, okay. Now it's problems for the Hunters here. Only 1 tick remaining for Valiant to get the payload moving. And things starting to look pretty good. Couple kills from Space. He's going to get the uppercut onto Jinwoo to finish it off. And now they got that last tick. The payload probably should have already been moving, but they'll take it now. Still a good amount of time in the time.
Yeah, it doesn't end up being too terrible because they can remedy that error immediately without taking too much away, and they are going to maintain some good ultimates here as well. They will have the Transcendence to deal with the Graviton from Yang Xiaolong.
Still.
So they start to head around that corner. So a bit of charge as we see KSF moving forward and getting some more energy for his Zarya by absorbing that spam with the bubble.
Rally for the Hunters as they re-engage here. Just trying to push the Valiant off the payload for the moment. Oh, Grab gets committed. Kariv going to pop that Transcendence in response, and now Fact Fiction 1 swing away about from the shatter, but it's too late. 4 people shattered by Among instead. Yveltal, the one who goes down. Space, though, delivering his team, but Kariv caught by Elsa's self-destruct, and the Hunters starting to turn it around. Maybe KSF can keep the Valiant in the game here.
Yeah, he can. It's a 4 versus 3. The Valiant having that player advantage means we will see the Chengdu Hunters go ahead and back off, so they have a chance here to take a fight before the end of point B.
Well, KSF rather Space kind of saving the day after being one of the few integral people on the team to not get shattered.
Yeah, basically meant they just couldn't follow up on the grab.
Yeah, that helps too. Fact Fiction. He's got the shatter now. For it, rally used by the Valiant. Fact Fiction moving forward, maybe a shatter under the payload is in order. Amon walks towards the team, getting about half health now. Shields are getting lower for both of these Reinhardts now. Valiant, there we go. There's the shatter onto 2 members. Yang Xiaolong, though, they get the sound barrier to keep them up. And will the grab come in? It will come in from the Hunters here. Kariv already down, and that means there's nothing to keep the Hunters from decimating the Valiant. Kariv nearly had that Transcendence, but died before he got it.
Yeah, that's really rough. Valiant, I think they could have just saved that sound barrier. They wanted to re-engage with it, but Yang Xiaolong had the Graviton already.
Yeah.
So they just had to slightly feint back, and then as that sound barrier was going away, as it was fading away, then they could throw in the Graviton Surge, and Kariv just not quite there with the Transcendence to answer back in turn. Very narrow timing window, but Chengdu manages to nail it.
Yeah, I mean, he died right before the grab came out, so if he would have not gotten picked there, I think they would have had that Transcendence for it. But as is, they're coming back in with a good amount of ultimates for themselves as well. No support ultimates yet for Chengdu. They're going to engage with the self-destruct. Any kills from that? No, not quite. Shatter comes in from Amon, but it's going to be a responding grab for the Valiant. Kariv with the Transcendence. Meanwhile, as the team gets aggressive, Valiant do have that extra armor, too, from the rally. Agilities has to back away, but they finally grind down Amon, and that's another nice shatter. Coming in from Fact Fiction. After Amon was down, there was no defense, and that's going to be point B for LA.
Fact Fiction's been capitalizing on the Graviton opportunity, or rather the Shatter opportunities throughout this series. Thus far, another 8 stuns for Shatter eliminations. Going to take a look at Fact Fiction once again.
Check it out. Amon down and
instantly responds to the death animation of Amon.
That's the thing when you get that team communication too. Everybody's shouting out, "Oh, Ryan won." You know he's about to die, so you can get that time pretty perfectly.
That's a really good reaction time, though.
Yeah, sure is. Good teamwork by the Valiant, too. Now trying to round that last corner. A little bit less time in the time bank than the Hunters have, but still could be a good finish for the Valiant if they can win this next fight. And that's going to have to be won against the grab. Thrown in onto Space. Fact Fiction gets in front with the shield, and now aiming a little bit low. They have to use the Transcendence to keep him alive. Space gets Yveltal. That is huge. Yveltal did get the sound barrier off, though, before he died, and now the Shatter, maybe from the Hunters, enough to turn it around. It was enough anyway to kill Fact Fiction, and that is going to send the Valiant packing.
I mean, the Valiant need to disengage. They'll know there's no sound barrier. There's no trance now for the Hunters. Space's self-destruct forced the sound barrier, and so now they can come back in with a rally. Now they can come back in with the sound barrier of their own. Valiant should be able to push this through to the end.
Yep.
See about the EMP, though. That could throw everything awry here for the Valiant.
Well, that's the hope. Translocate in. There's the EMP. 4 members hit. And Fact Fiction down. Valiant, though, responding with some kills of their own, but it looks like Yang Xiaolong is going to get his grab eaten by Space. They're trying to seal the deal right now. Grab on the side keeps Kyo out of there, and he's transcending no one as a Valiant finish point C. A little bit less time in the time bank, but hey, they finished.
Costa dodging out that EMP and still getting the sound barrier off. Huge for the Valiant. Allows them to complete. 1 minute for the Valiant, 2:11 for the Hunters.
Yeah, a little bit rough for the Valiant, but they're still in this one. We'll see what they can do when we come back. We are going into extra innings here on Nimbani. It's going to be 2:11 on the clock for the Hunters. They will be defending. Valiant with just a minute to attack with here. We'll see if they can capture the payload and get that moving quickly. And they're looking for a 3-0 in this series, and that would be quite the statement. But Hunters, I mean, I think you can see right now the way to go is Ama. Like that's
it does seem that way.
At the moment, that's who you want to have in. The team clearly much more coordinated with him and Yang Xiaolong. You know, maybe eventually Jichuren is the future, but for now, it's all about Amon.
Valiant again going to try it. This is so dangerous in mirror.
Now they're
push
going
through
for it
that
anyway.
choke.
Jinmu gets off just in time. That was a close call, though. Amon does get a lot of charge towards that shatter like we were talking about early.
The defending Reinhardt just gets such a huge advantage. Now they're going to try and take advantage of the fact that they have high ground control. Discord Orb onto Amon just like last time. They've been pressuring the front line a lot, the Valiant.
Yeah, but he has to duck and cover. Veltal down, KSF with a big kill, but now Fact Fiction in trouble. Amon, though, the one to fall. Fact Fiction finally dies, but look at this. KSF with all the damage he built up by camping on the high ground, and it looks like they might be able to take A. Remember, the respawns are close, but that was pretty definitive by the Valiant.
Yeah, this time they're just sticking on to the point right there. They will take A and get this payload moving.
That is huge. I mean, on Nimbani, that is so big just to take point A.
I was worried they're going to step on it right
I know, man. I know. I know.
I saw like Custa and Space moving forward. Like, no!
Stop it!
Sorry.
Back to the payload!
Back on right now.
They've got some ultimates, too.
Yeah, they do have that advantage they gained from the high ground. So going very well for the Valiant.
All right, rally is getting used. Here's the shatter there. Not a lot out of that. Fact Fiction in trouble. KSF is grabbed, eaten by Elsa. Valiant with one less tool to use to try to push this payload forward. Space is self-destruct. No kills claimed out of that one. Yang Xiaolong a little bit on his own. He has to duck back behind that corner. Now they're re-engaged by the Hunters. You got to stay on the payload. You're in overtime right now, but so far so good for the Valiant. Maybe the sound barrier. Can they stay alive through the grab? They can for the moment. And Valiant not doing bad at all here. Fact Fiction finally falls, though, but the spawns are really close. They can keep this fight going for quite a while.
Yeah, they can. It's a 4 versus 3 for the Valiant, so that means Chengdu needs to leave. Like you say, with the spawns close, important that they keep that in mind and they don't overcommit. So Valiant still getting good progress for their minute of time bank.
Yeah, we've seen some long overtime pushes today between the match you and I casted earlier and this one now. Valiant making a pretty scary push happen here on Nimbani. If they can take point B, that'll be amazing. They are so close to having a lot of ultimates as well. They've got him right now. There's the grab coming in. This one doesn't get eaten. The sound barrier there for the Hunters, though. Fact Fiction reverse charging back onto Chengdu. Chengdu down. And Fact Fiction kept alive by the Transcendence. Now Eamon in a lot of trouble. He has to back away. They're going to use the Transcendence on that side. Yang Xiaolong Space eats the grab. Everything going Valiant's way right now. Space out of the mech. That could be a problem here. Fact Fiction does get the shield up in front of Elsa. Elsa does not get back into the Diva suit. Barely getting killed off, and that's point B taken by the Valiant.
That's right, all 6 members on the payload right now. KSF, he's hungry. He's got 100 charge right now, wants to get that Graviton Surge.
I mean, he's had one for every fight, and he really put it to good use at the end of B there, and this push just seems like it cannot be stopped right now.
Just a rally on the side of Chengdu as well.
Yeah.
That's not going to be enough to survive KSF's Graviton.
I mean, by winning these fights so hard, Valiant have gotten the ult advantage every time. There's the Graviton Surge again as they get aggressive in Yang Xiaolong. The first to fall at 99% ult charge. That was a grab that the Hunters really needed. Among down as well. Now the Hunters just desperately trying to boop the Valiant off the payload. You gotta stick to it. That overtime bar is gonna expire almost instantly.
And 2 ults used by the Valiant, Doa. They've got 4 to finish this map.
It's a crazy push.
It's a great push by the Valiant.
Now they gotta stop Yang Xiaolong from getting in position to grab. Space has gotta be ready to eat this one. It's crucial. That's it. The grab comes in anyway. You gotta stay on the payload. It's only Kareev on there right now, and the kill's coming in for the Hunters. This is gonna be where it ends. So they get caught in the grab. Kareev, it's like, I can do it. I'm sorry. You can't. But that was a great push by LA Valiant regardless. They may have, well, for all intents and purposes, have taken point C there because that's about as far as the Hunters are going to need to push it if they're going to want to win this one.
Yeah, I think you can't ask for much more than that.
No.
You're the Valiant?
That is a push. If you're the Valiant, you start with a minute on that attack and you get it all the way to the end of C, yeah, you're going to be thrilled with that.
See what the Chengdu Hunters can do with 2-11 in response is very similar to the match we saw earlier between the Titans and the Rain, where the Titans nearly pushed it all the way to the end of Gibraltar.
Yeah.
And forced the Rain to respond. They had the bigger time bank, but they still lost that map.
I mean, that's the same situation the Hunters find themselves in right now, where they had the bigger time bank. They had the better push originally, and now you give up nearly 3 points to a team pushing the payload 100% in overtime.
They're crazy. Valiant going to commit to this too. So just like we saw the Titans, once they had the attack first and they knew that the other team was going to have to push all the way to the end of the map, they're going to run the Sombra.
Yeah.
And they did this last time on the defense, but it's still so good when you know they have to make it all the way through. The amount of EMPs that you're going to have over the course of the map will be
true.
Numerous.
Chancellor Hotel. You ever notice that a lot of point A's on hybrid maps are near hotels?
That's true.
Hotels are dangerous places to be in the Overwatch universe. Kings Row, same way. Why are people putting their hotels next to payloads that are about to be activated? It seems unwise.
I can't argue.
There's no TripAdvisor or something in the future. There's no way to judge these, I guess. I don't know. Here we go. Valiant on the defense. Agility's back on that. Roadhog again, and Yang Xiaolong down instantly.
Well, that's one way. Just speed boost right onto the Sombra.
Yeah, I mean, only 21% ult charge built up there, too.
And KSF not getting much done because of how fast Chengdu came into the point. Chengdu didn't give KSF a chance to pick off many of their members.
Oh, man. Sleep dart. But he's going to have sweet dreams after that one.
And hacked, but there's a defense matrix waiting for him, and he's coming back now that he's unhacked. Can't quite reach Yang Xiaolong.
He had a really good read on that translocator too. It was very close to another big kill on the Sombra. Kyo swaps over to the Zenyatta. They've decided they need that Discord orb for agilities there.
I like what the Chengdu Hunters are doing. They realize that their only way to win right now is to win this fight and then get a snowball advantage with 3-3.
Yeah.
It's not a bad plan.
You gotta do it. Here we go. Up to the hotel. Valiant backing away. It's going to be the nano boost. Over onto Fact Fiction as he gets closer and closer. Amon down anyway, though. Fact Fiction going to be able to leisurely build his way towards that Earth Shatter now.
This is disaster because Chengdu Ideally, they would have forced the EMP on this push.
Oh,
Guess
Bell
what?
Tall.
Oh, that's a big play.
Yeah, that is not what you want to do if you're Valiant. You don't want to give up easy environmental kills like that on a disengage by your opponent. Now it's going to be a 65 for Valiant Agilities. He swaps over to the Doomfist.
You
He
have
needs to
to.
get back there fast.
You have to. But the EMP is safe. Crucially, though, the EMP is safe.
No! Oh, man. Mashing that translocate button, man. He's got to get out of there. Back fiction a little bit low here. All right, KSF waiting for it. Elsa gets uppercutted right out of his mech, it looks like. And there's the EMP. Hits 5 members of the Hunter's Kyo. Nice prediction with the Transcendence, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Agilities goes in with the right click. Can't prevent the remech for Elsa, though. Can't get any kills out of this one either. Kareem with the nano boost once again onto Fact Fiction. Gets the shield up in time. And now swinging to Jinmu, but nobody can get to the point. And that is a 3-0 for the LA Valiant.
A narrow win there, but they prove it in the time bank, running it all the way to point C. Look at that. Fact Fiction back in the Overwatch League, back with his first win.
Yep, it's got to feel good. Custa's like, yeah, they did get as smart as me. Map 4 when we come back.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Into the iris.
Valiant have already secured themselves the victory in this series with 3 map wins already. Still one more map to go, and there's Custa. And guys, if you just haven't been able to get enough Custa in your lives today, he's going to be on the watch point desk after this match, so don't miss that. A little bit of live news from Custa this time.
That's right. He's the best Australian in the Overwatch League.
The player or just in general?
In general. The Australian power rankings are Custa, Uber, Gunba.
Wow. All right. Well, you know, you can have your opinions. I haven't really put much thought into it yet, honestly.
Production's reminding me about Trill. Trill is definitely number 4.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. There you go. Custa looks like he wants to get the map going, but we're going to have to wait because I'm going to spoil this for you, but right back there over Monty's shoulder, there are some players setting up for the Chengdu Hunters. We need to give them a second to do that. Yeah, let's take a look at the subs right now for the Hunters. As you can imagine, it's going to be Gary. He's back in again. Welcome back, Gary.
The crowd loves Gary. I love Gary too.
He's their favorite Pokemon antagonist. Lei Young subbing in for Elsa. And can you guess what the third one is, Monty? Well, too late. Chichiren subbing in for Amon. And, Chichiren means robot, apparently, in Chinese. And so after swimming all the way across the Pacific, I can see why he's a bit rusty.
Yeah. Short-circuiting maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Well, giving these guys a little bit more stage experience, and why not? You know, the match has, already been decided. So, if you really think of GG Ren as your main tank, as your tank of the future, then yeah, get him on stage as much as you can.
Yeah, agreed. And also, now he did perform on the last Escort map. That was a map that Chengdu won in a similar situation where they had already lost the match. We're down 0-3.
True. But you don't want that to be the only situation you can't win in. Jinmu does not look happy there. Huh? Cheer up, Jinmu. Wow.
I like the salsa music.
That's right. How can he be sad with music like this in the background?
I can't.
We're going to Havana. That's right. Our newest map in Overwatch, an escort map. And it looks super sick if you're actually in the arena to be surrounded by this like massive screen. I love it. All right. This is sweet. Would you like some Don Rombatico rum?
I'm always suspicious of, people who make things that they themselves can't use. So,
hey, maybe
drinking rum made by a robot. I'm not really into that.
He has very advanced taste sensors with which to imbibe the rum. Don't worry. He's not telling you a lie to help destroy the human race or anything like that. That's just not the type of thing he would do. Valiant on defense. Chengdu Hunters on the attack. Really aggressive defense, actually, from the Valiant. Interestingly enough, they're going to just be pushed right back here. Look at this. Wow, you don't see teams defending so early on this map, although this is a new one. We've seen a lot of experimenting on it.
Yeah, we've seen some teams try this. It's like Junkertown, right? How far up on these long sight lines are you willing to play? Agility's going to get hacked, but does dodge behind Fact Fiction's barrier, and that means everybody's going to have to go back. Jinmu left out to dry as the rest of his team decides to take cover in the safety of spawn.
I just get really nervous that all of this is happening right next to the gas station. That's what makes me uncomfortable now. That could go at any moment.
Yeah, you never know when there's going to be a Zoolander type accident.
That's true. They might die in a freak gasoline fight accidents. It's happened before. Valiant trying to hold on here, and Agilities has a rally, so they're going to have that extra armor to keep this going. And the Shatter comes in, going to hit Jinmu as he rallies. Oh, the responding Shatter, though, coming in from Jichiren. And that payload's going to start to move. Dual grabs. Whoa, and it's going to be the Hunters getting their early kills with that one. The sound barrier not enough to save Agilities and Fact Fiction. And now if you're the Valiant, you back off.
Yeah, you do. EMP coming in from Yang Xiaolong to complement his team's Graviton Surge, and that pushes the Chengdu Hunters over the top in that Graviton versus Graviton engagement.
Yeah. You ever notice how all the cars in Overwatch are just they look like old cars retrofitted with floating tire engine things?
To be fair, those retro cars are super cool looking.
That is true.
I would do that too.
I like that this is the style the future has gone back to for their automobiles. It's pretty sick. All right, time to break it down. Gary brings in the sound barrier self-destruct, not catching anybody in favor of the Valiant. KSF hacked, nearly gets taken out. Fact Fiction left alone, couldn't get any shields from that Zarya when the Zarya was hacked, and Hunter's on track for a very quick point A in the end.
Yep, just going to slide that payload right to the end of A before we head into the distillery phase.
See, I like to think that all the cars with digital electronic components between after the 70s until now were destroyed in some big EMP event with the Omnic Crisis.
Oh, nice.
And so they had to retrofit old vehicles.
I like to think that they just brought back taste in the future.
Well, one of those makes for good fan fiction. The other one's kind of boring. So I'll let you guys decide which one that is. Chengdu Hunters still continue to push. Valiant weren't able to get anything done with that grab. Taste. Ha!
I know it's a foreign concept for you.
Hey. That's mean. Just because I'm a big fan of the Fast and the Furious franchise. Leave me alone. Kill a little bit low. Big problems for the Zenyatta here. On Hunters, he backs away. Yang Xiaolong with the EMP.
Yeah, they did kill his translocator.
Yep, that's right. Tough to engage there. Throws it up again. There we go. There's the EMP hitting 3 members, but Karib already ready with the Transcendence as the Hunters have to delay even more. They're going to dedicate the Graviton Surge to this now, and the Shatter comes in for Fact Fiction, and that is going to be where the payload stops for now for the Hunters.
This second point, we've seen so many teams stall out on it right now. It is a
brutal
warren of right angles, a huge high ground advantage. It's really hard to get an EMP because there's so many catwalks and corners cutting off that line of sight, so it's easy for support players to hide and wait for it.
Yeah, Don Rombatico rum, distilled in the presence of glorious combat.
All right, you're selling me on the rum now.
That's how I would advertise it. Yeah. got to affect it somehow. Hunters just trying to find a way to go through the door, but it's tough. You can see Custa getting set up to split the team. They're going to just go ahead and use the grab there. Fact Fiction can't put the shield every direction. Lucio doing damage from on high. Fact Fiction finishes him off with the charge, though. And Jichiren not living through that one, so the Hunter is majorly stalled out now. 2 minutes on the time bank.
Hunters, it's so hard to get through these choke points in the first place. Valiant, they get great value. Just gonna go ahead, toss that single Graviton Surge out, retain the rest of the ultimates that they have available. Chengdu really low on that ult charge right now. They're going to struggle. Probably another eco push here.
Well, that's the plan. I mean, you gotta build those ults somehow. Fact Fiction getting a lot of free damage around that corner. Not even needing to use that shield. That's what I'm trying to say there. Oh, nearly knocked off, but just over to the other catwalk instead. That's a great catwalk from which to 360 Earth Shatter. I'm just saying, Fact Fiction.
Do it for the style points.
That's right. You already won the match. Give me that 360 Shatter. Youngja long down. You got the 6v5. Go for it. He's dropping. Yeah, they're just going to push him out. Why use the ults if you don't need to, I suppose?
That's worst case scenario, right? Youngja Long dies almost to the EMP with no ults used by the Valiant. None.
Meanwhile,
so
that does use Transcendence.
Yeah, and the Transcendence use. This is a total disaster for the Chengdu Hunters.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got some ultimates available. They're going to have some good ones, actually. Late Young very close to another grab. Youngja Long has his EMP. Ooh, he gets caught there. Has to back away.
We got through the door this time, so at least that distraction proved useful for them.
Yeah, I suppose. All right, rally time. There's the EMP. A lot of members of the Valiant hit, but Kareev did pop the Transcendence in time. Chengdu using the sound barrier to keep pushing ahead. And there's a grab, responding with another grab from Late Young. Now the sound barrier comes in. Ooh, nice kill on the Late Young with Space's self-destruct. Fact Fiction able to, I believe he canceled Jichiren's, or somebody canceled Jichiren's Earth Shatter there.
Yeah, that was so disastrous for the Hunters. They had to get kills. Remember, they are not running a D.Va, so if they do not get eliminations during the EMP, the response from the Valiant is instantly going to be to Graviton Surge them, and they didn't have anything to stop the incoming damage. Late Young picked off by the self-destruct.
It's going to be pretty tough for Hunters to win this next one. They're going to have the Transcendence, but that is about it. Fact Fiction, again, another chance for a great 360 Shatter. No, it doesn't take it. Disappointing. Still looking for a big one, though. All right, there's the Transcendence.
Oh, they forced it out so early.
Yeah, they did. That opens a lot of opportunities up here as KSF creeping ever closer to another Graviton Surge, and we're already deep in overtime for the Hunters here. Yeah, I mean, Fact Fiction's doing such a good job of playing the crazy corners you can get on this point. It's so hard to dislodge a Reinhardt. They're going in with the grab now. Rallies get used. KSF has to back away. Nearly died there. Now they're getting aggressive. That's going to be Late Young getting shattered there. Fact Fiction knocked down as well as the charges run into each other. And there's the EMP. Fact Fiction down. So the Hunters with a chance here. They just never pulled the trigger. They just couldn't find a way to push in.
They couldn't get the follow-up on the Graviton Surge. They didn't have enough people far enough forward. So now Chengdu had a chance to build up another EMP, and that is what seals the deal on this fight.
The chase down onto Custa. Is he actually going to make it out? Oh, it's going to be tough. No, he doesn't. Late Young steals the kill from Yang Xiaolong. That might be point B here. We'll see if Valiant can get back in there in a hurry, but they're probably going to have to fight it 5v6 if they're going to fight it at all.
And the tables have turned, too, because Custa is going to be spawning late. They don't have a Transcendence. Late Young sitting there with a grab. Chengdu should be able to win this with just a grab.
Oh, they're going to use it immediately. Valiant with the sound barrier to contest. Sound barrier on the Hunter's side now. Too big shatter comes in from Jichiren. Late Young with the kill into agilities. And so the Hunters, like you said, they had the ult advantage. They were able to chain that into a point B take now.
Custa actually got back faster than I thought he would, so they did end up having to expend more ultimates on the side of the Hunters, specifically their own sound barrier as well, but still, the plan was there, they executed the sequencing, and that's what gets them the point. So all of a sudden, they're starting to threaten here on the final point of this match.
This has been the most difficult rum delivery to a castle ever. It's like just some rich dude's just trying to get some rum, man. That's it. Why do you got to try to stop him? I don't know. don't know what the story is for this one. EMP comes in onto 4 members of the Valiant, and Hunters are going to keep pushing forward. Uh-oh. Well, if you're the Valiant, you're starting to feel a little bit stressed out right now, although the ult advantage has swung back in their favor.
Yeah, you'd think that the Valiant would be able to stop this through point C. It's not necessarily the greatest feats considering how staunch defenses have been across the play on Havana that we've seen so far.
Right.
Many people stopped up in point B completely.
True enough. All right, Fact Fiction with yet another opportunity for a 360 Earthshatter from the top rope. He gets booped. All right, backed away. Rally's coming in now. Chi Ren, stunned for a second, and that's going to lead into a shatter from Fact Fiction. Oh no, he's going to take Yang Xiaolong for a ride right off the map. But why not? Gary on his own, just trying to sneaky push the cart even farther. Not going to get it to the end, but it gets a couple extra meters.
You admire plays like that, though,
Absolutely.
because they knew they had lost, but they still use grab to pull people off the cart, and Gary has the wherewithal to get it just a little bit further. You never know when that's going to win you a map.
Nice move, Gary.
Good guy, Gary.
Yeah. Gary the Great. Pusher of payloads. Not first of his name, because there's been like a billion people named Gary over the years.
Backcapper of cards.
That's right. Defender of the payload and whatever else. The rum, I guess.
He's really the thief of the rum. He's trying to move the rum.
No, he's
so
trying to deliver it. He's not stealing it.
Rum delivery man.
That's right.
Gary.
Deliverer of the rum. Indeed. Let Young and his team a pep talk there.
I mean, I'd be happy if Gary delivered me some rum. So.
Yeah, that's right. Feel free to come up here anytime, Gary. You know where we are. Viola di Orsino. How'd I do? I think I pronounced that pretty well.
Yeah, not like you're butchering of Italian on Rialto, though.
So it's a Romeo and Juliet of robots and humans, I guess, kind of. I mean, maybe it's not quite that sad. Maybe it's just romance without the sad ending. You never know. Wherefore art thou, Robo
Orsino.
Orsino?
There you go.
I've forgotten already. I was never good at memorizing Shakespeare.
Or signs you literally just saw.
No, that's true. Yep. My mind is on other things, man. My mind is on this match. And this round, in which Valiant has a chance to get a 4-0 over the Chengdu Hunters. The loss of Shanghai earlier this week could be big for the Valiant to come back and get a win here in the second series in the first week of Stage 3. And that's a good start. Jinmu down early. Hunters giving the early defense a try, but it is not working out for them. Oh, no.
So, the thing about the early defense, Noah, is you can't really do it with a Sombra, because the whole point of Sombra is you're harassing them on their approach while they cross the open ground to get EMP.
Yeah.
If you notice, for example, like the Valiant did, that they don't have a diva, you can just run at them, and they don't have damage mitigation, so you win. So, honestly, that's a pretty easy call for the Valiant.
Well, at any rate, it forces the Hunters back to the end of point A. Hunters trying to defend on the second floor here, now jumping down, but the payload is nearly there. It's turned the corner. Now the Hunters trying to push in on the Valiant as they're in this a little bit more open area, rather. Jichuren got a little bit low on the Reinhardt. Lei Young as well. Hunters needing to take a break to heal up their tanks. In fact, Fiction. Oh, KSF just kills off Yang Xiaolong before he gets the EMP. And now the Shatter comes in. Lei Young and Jichuren knocked down, but there's the stun to keep Fact Fiction from getting that charge. They're going to have to use the grab, but that is okay because they will win the fight and take point A.
And that is how you don't play with Sombra.
I guess so. That is rough, man. A whole point and not even one EMP. This is going to be their first 4-0 of the season if they can do that. They had 8 4-0s last year. It's been a slower start for the Valiant this time around. Before Stage 3, they had a total of 3 match wins. They were 0-7 in Stage 1, 3-4 in Stage 2.
Yeah, there are a lot of caveats with the Valiant, though.
Sure.
A lot of their losses were in Map 5. where they sort of crumbled under the pressure at the end. So they did have a difficult schedule in Stage 1, also another thing to consider. But they have been generally on an upward trajectory this season.
We'll see if these changes pan out. Now the grab comes in from the Hunters. Yang Xiaolong finally has his EMP. He's going to use it. Hit half the members of the Valiant, but they've got the sound barrier there to counter. So after all that, it draws out the sound barrier, but doesn't get a whole lot else. Kareev in a little bit of trouble, but he backs away.
He's got to back off and heal up right now. There's a self-destruct coming in to make space.
Yep. Oh, Jinmu turns the shield just in time. They've got the sound barrier as well. Now the shatter comes in. Doesn't connect with anybody, though, but it doesn't matter because what it did do is funnel everybody into the shooting gallery for Valiant.
And also, Gary used his sound barrier when probably he didn't need to because he panicked at seeing the self-destruct. And then that meant there was no sound barrier for the grab. Made it really easy for the Valiant to finish that fight.
You'll watch what you say about Gary around me, all right? Defender of the rump. Here we go. Hunters jumping down again to try to stop point B from being taken. The payload finally halts, and it's going to be Transcendence. There's a Sun on the Custa sets up the charge on Jichiren to take him down, and there's a hack coming in onto space as well. Valiant a little bit scattered here, although Kareev does find the pick onto Kyo, so maybe Valiant can hang in this. Jichiren comes through, misses the charge that time around, and he's going to go down. Kareev capitalizing on these things, and what the EMP for Yang Xiaolong when nobody else is around? You gotta swap off the Sombra now.
It wasn't just that. It was the fact that Jichiren charged out of the fight before the grab was used. So that meant that he wasn't there to swing into the grab when Valiant had no support ults. That should have been a guaranteed win for the Hunters.
I mean, clearly the coordination is lacking with this particular roster. I mean, frankly, that's why they're on the stage right now. They are trying to give this player composition a little bit more experience, but you can see it is rough. Here we go. Fact Fiction comes through with the charge on the Jinmu. That's how you use a grab and a charge.
Yeah, they know they don't have support ults.
Yeah.
They don't have a diva. Just throw it at them. There are real downsides to running the Sombra, and that is if you don't have support ults, you just die to grab.
That's right.
There's not a lot of choice right there.
Now it's time for the final delivery. As Valiant edge even closer to where the payload needs to be. Fact Fiction with a chance. For 360 or shatter. He's not going to do it again. Of course not. Here we go. Transcendence comes in from Kareev. Fact Fiction waiting it out. Sound barrier as soon as that is done, because it's going to accomplish not too much.
There was just a disengage through the choke. You can't use sound barrier there.
Not really. There we go. Oh, the Rhine turned his back, but look at that. The shatter does work anyway. Jichiren taken out by the fire strike. Space a little bit low. He might have gotten D-Neck right there. No, not quite. Now the EMP from Yang Xiaolong comes in, but Gary's down. Fact Fiction as well. Ooh, the self-destruct catches Kyo, and Valiant still brawling their way to a team fight win, and that is it. The Valiant, as soon as they eliminate Jichiren here, are going to complete the 4-0. That is it. The LA Valiant, for the first time in 2019, get the 4-0.
Strong statement match from the Valiant. They bounced back after a tough loss this week, but they looked so much cleaner in their second outing.
Yeah. I think that was definitely the LA Valiant that people have been wanting to see for a long time, and a rough match for the Hunters, but you know, clearly a team going through some revisions themselves. And you know, when you have 3-4 stages like the Hunters did, you probably do need to make some changes if you're looking at overall playoffs, you know?
Yeah, Valiant too, desperate for every win they can get to keep themselves at least mildly in contention for that 12th place spot. They've got to win a lot of matches, and they have a very tough schedule this stage.
Yeah. But getting a 4-0, getting that map differential advantage especially helps it a lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
Definitely does, and certainly a stronger performance from Fact Fiction and the rest of the team today.
Yeah, encouraging start for the Valiant here. 1-1 in week 1 here of stage 3. Should be a lot to look forward to here. And so, we will see. We've got an interview here. It's going to be Fact Fiction standing by with Danny.
Thank you so much, Monty and Joel. Everybody, give it up for Fact Fiction and LA Valiant, everybody. Great job. First ever victory, and also first ever 4-0 for you. How does it feel to get this win?
I mean, it just feels really, really good to get a 4-0. And it just shows that everything we've been working on since I've joined the team has come to fruition, and it just feels really, really good.
Amazing. And also, during your time in Contenders, I'm sure you faced off against a lot of great 3-3 teams. And do you believe that helped you prepare for the Overwatch League? And if so, how did it help you?
Yeah, I think a lot of teams and Contenders are really, really good at 3-3, especially Envy and Fusion University. And so playing against them is really prepared me for playing against the best 3-3 teams here in Overwatch League.
All right, cool. Thank you so much, Fact Fiction. Monty and Dua, back to you.
Fact Fiction in the Overwatch League. That's right. That smile, of course, says it all. As he is also our Omen by HP player of the match. Fact Fiction. Pulling double duty. Gets the interview, gets the MVP, gets 2 kills and 1 charge. It's a good day for Fact Fiction.
He had great shatters. I think a part of this, too, is the team from the Chengdu Hunters still needing to learn how to play around their new tank, Jichurin. It is difficult to make those swaps at this point in the season, but Fact Fiction now debuting last year on the Houston Outlaws, spending a little bit of time this year in Contenders, but making it back as the new starting main tank on this Valiant roster.
Hey, where's his Fire Strike kills? Where's the most important Reinhardt stat?
The most important stat.
The most important Reinhardt stat. Omitted, sadly. We'll have to find that one later. Good day for Fact Fiction. Good day for the LA Valiant. And like you mentioned with the Hunters, too, I mean, it's not only a change of tanks, it's a change of styles completely for them as well. So that's how it is. Well, it's been a great day of matches of Overwatch League here. And we're not done yet. That's right. Don't go anywhere because Watchpoint is coming up in just a few minutes. Thanks for joining us for the game. Stick around for Watchpoint. We'll see you later.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, man, what's up?
You need anything for today?
Nah, man, I think I'm set.
Big day today, man?
Yeah, huge. Let's play some Overwatch. welcome back to another edition of the Watch Point Post Show live from the Blizzard Arena in Los Angeles. As per usual, I'm your host, Malik Forte, joined as always by Zoe, Bryn, and Josh. Guys, coming into today, if anybody would have told me that all the games would be 4-0 and none of those games would be Vancouver 4-0ing people, I would have been like, you're kidding me, man. It was a lot of 4 Overwatch, but it wasn't Vancouver, which is wild to me.
And honestly, even some of the 4-0s, they still felt very close. Like, I do think that a lot of those maps could have gone either way. So overall, we did see some pretty darn good Overwatch out there, say.
And a couple of teams kind of flopping as well, where we thought we might have bigger performances, particularly Fusion and Chengdu. I think I was hoping for a little bit more from. I wanted those games to be a little closer. Both of those teams have got to go back to the drawing table and really look at what they were bringing today.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get into today because there was a lot. The last matchup you guys just saw was between the LA Valiant and the Chengdu Hunters, two teams looking for their first win of the stage. Now, the Valiant were up 2-0 at the half, and to complete this win, they would have a tall mountain to climb, especially to get back into playoff contention. So let's go ahead and look at Nubani. Guys, more domination from you now.
You see, the thing is, just Valiant did so very well at putting on pressure onto the front line of the Chengdu Hunters, who were always on the back foot. They always had to retreat. Valiant really positioned themselves well, and KSF, well, he really popped this game. He had an absolute field trip. In fact, Fiction managed to create a lot of space for his team, and overall, it was just very, very well played from the Valiant. I didn't expect it to be that one-sided.
Yeah, I love little plays like this because you just, as you're getting hacked and you're falling through the air, your life flashes before your eyes. Every mistake you've made up to that moment, and suddenly you're in the drink and you're back in the respawn queue.
Thought process here. Final map. They bring in Jichirin and Gary again. Is that because the series is over, or is that because they have? Or are they trying something where they have two set lineups for different maps where they want to run specific stuff?
I think they're trying to give Jichirin some stage time, some practice on the main stage. The guy, I mean, again, he was supposed to be their main tank coming into this. I think they're trying to catch him up to speed, I guess, with the atmosphere that he's going to be expecting on that. But I agree with your previous point, Zoe, about KSF. I feel like he really shined as well. I'm finally starting to see what Valiant were talking about this entire time. They've been picking up KSF, right, as his monster in scrims, and he never really performed up to the level that they said he could. We're starting to see it now. He's absolutely destroying on Zarya, at least in this match here. Again, easy opponent, so it's easy to perform well, but still, I think we're seeing something good there.
Why do you think that is? You think it's maybe better communication with Fact Fiction? Well, why is it that KSF now is just all of a sudden popping off super hardcore?
I think playtime on the main stage is the biggest thing. Like, a lot of people don't realize this, but it's nerve-wracking up there. My first time on that big stage, I almost wet myself out of anticipation. It was very scary. We lost the first talent takedown.
We don't talk about that time.
Joking aside, it's nerve-wracking. You're playing in front of so many people, many more online as well. You've got so many eyes, so much criticism on you. Nerves do play a big part of this, and just the only thing that's going to get you through it is reps and repetitions, and that's what KSF has from then to now.
Got to fight through the mental strangleholds of being on stage. Indeed. All right, well, let's move on to, I guess, what you could call our marquee matchup of the day. The Titans and the Atlanta Reign. Now, the Reign, they beat the NYXL twice, and they almost beat San Francisco. So coming into today's match, a lot of people were going, they possibly could compete with Vancouver. And you know what? I think they actually did. They competed pretty well.
Yeah, out of all the three matches we said today on the pre-show of which one do you think would be more likely to be an upset, I said this match, and you all laughed at me.
Yeah, well, we were good to laugh at you because it didn't happen. Actually, the one that upset was the Valiant.
Out of the ones we picked, though, this was the one that was most likely to be an upset. I mean, it was the closest series we saw between the teams. So I don't take that, Josh, to be honest.
I mean, no, to be fair, though, on map number one, I didn't really feel like it was close. Even though Atlanta did bring it back once in a while and won some team fights, overall, it was still a very dominant showing from the Vancouver Titans. And then on Paris, honestly, this looked more like a throw from the Titans than anything else. It was a very interesting kind of team composition they were running on it. I do agree, though, that the other two maps, that was on the closer side.
I mean, I wouldn't even go so far as that. I'm not even going to give them that, Zoe. I agree with you so much that I'm going to say as well that I didn't think Hollywood was
Oh, no, wait, actually, I forgot about the full hold.
Yeah,
Never mind about that.
By definition, this was not a close match.
That's not close.
Yeah, Atlanta struggled a little bit here, but I don't think this was particularly Atlanta playing poorly and more to do with Vancouver Titans really playing well. There was some clutch boops. They were forcing abilities out of people, really working well with the ultimates, putting a lot of pressure onto Atlanta. This is Vancouver Titans coming out of the gate, proving that they are at a higher form, at least, than the other three at the moment, the other top three. So compared to the Shock and NYXL, they've come out of the gates a lot faster. Now, whether that'll make any difference when we get towards the stage playoffs, who knows? Probably not. But at least at the moment, the Vancouver Titans look like the best.
Gibraltar, I thought for a second that Atlanta Reign were going to be able to tie this one up. It was very close towards the end of this series. I believe it went into the double overtime, and again, we saw Atlanta Reign pulling off some good maneuvers. One thing that I did see as well is that Baby Bay has been steadily improving on the Zyra himself, stepping it up, but wasn't enough to bring out the win in the end. Vancouver Titans, clearly Harsha Bandy's words of encouragement at the halftime, helping them out tremendously, really.
He's an incredible human being.
He really is, yeah. Phenomenal facial hair as well.
Yeah, part-time coach for the Houston Outlaws.
Houston Outlaws.
As we discovered yesterday. He came up with what was his amazing one-word motivation that he had for Houston yesterday?
Win.
Ah, that was it.
Yeah, just win.
Win-win. There's a song about that somewhere. All right, let's take a look at the Atlanta Reign schedule.